why sometimes your days look more like this and other days they kind of look like this? You might think that this is totally random, but the truth is there are things that productive people do to make their time more efficient. So today I'm going to share with you my favorite productivity hacks to help you save an hour every single day. First tip is to get yourself a good planner. I like ones that have an actual timetable in them. At first, this might seem a little too rigid, but it's actually the key to a really productive day. Having a planner with set times helps me see at a really quick glance what's happening and at what time. So it helps me plan my day better. I recently switched to the Whitney English Day Planner and it's seriously so good. You have a monthly view so you can see everything in 1 month, as well as daily views within the week with individual time slots. I also love that it has a preview into next week and a running to-do list. This planner is just laid out really smartly. Smartly? Is smartly a word? I don't think so. This planner is honestly just laid out really well, and it makes a huge difference to be more productive every day when I can just see at a quick glance what I'm doing at what times during the day. All right, my second productivity hack is to have a set morning routine. I'm talking about just 2 to 3 things that you do every single morning. It's going to help set you up for success because you're starting your morning with routine and structure. For me, the first thing I do every morning is brew a cup of coffee. Honestly, just knowing I have a hot cup of coffee waiting for me helps to get me out of bed in the morning. Now with a baby on the way, my coffee order has actually changed recently. I usually drink it black and strong, but being pregnant, I have to put something in my coffee to cut the acidity. So I was on the hunt for the perfect easy and simple mix-in, and I started using the Dunkin' Donuts extra creamers. And I have to be honest, now I totally understand what the hype about flavored creamers is. They're delicious. My favorite one is the caramel flavor. So I usually just put a small splash into my coffee, usually decaf because pregnancy insomnia is a real thing. If you follow me on my Instagram stories, you know what's up. The Dunkin' Donuts extra creamers are great. You're gonna love them for making your coffee at home. They come in a couple flavors and varieties, so I'm gonna put a link down below for you guys to check it out. Find a product locator. Like I said, I suggest the caramel one, but there's something out there for everyone. This next tip is one that I've mentioned a few times before, and it's the idea that a body in motion tends to stay in motion. The worst thing I can do for my momentum is to just say I'm gonna sit down for just a couple of minutes, I'm gonna watch just one Netflix show, I'm gonna scroll through Instagram for a few minutes. Once your body slows down, you lose that natural momentum. So instead, what I do is I like to make sure I keep myself moving. So instead, when I get home, instead of sitting down to relax, I just jump right into any tasks that I have to do. It is the best way to keep my energy moving. I get started on any chores I want to do. I exercise really quick. I'll go outside and take the dogs for a walk. Keeps my energy level up and helps me be way more productive with the rest of my day. Save the relaxing for later. The next tip is to turn off notifications on your phone that you don't really need. Getting buzzed and dinged every single time something happens on your phone is exhausting, and it can be very distracting. Not to mention, getting notified of something usually breaks your concentration you had on something, so you end up going from working to aimlessly scrolling through your Instagram feed. I keep just my essential notifications on, basically text and phone calls, and then I lose the rest and I just check my apps at different times throughout the day. I do not need to know every time somebody comments or tags me on an Instagram picture. Another helpful tip is if you want to just toggle your notifications on and off is to use the do not disturb setting. This is just going to temporarily stop notifications while you work, and then you can turn them all back on again. All right, my next tip is to food prep. I go into an office a couple of days a week and I always pack my lunch with me, and if I don't pack my lunch the night before or previous nights before, then I'm left trying to pack it during a hectic morning when I'm already usually in a rush. So instead, I like to shift that time and I pack my lunches usually the night before when I'm cooking dinner, because I already have, you know, all of my cutting boards out, I have my knives out, I have like all of the cooking stuff already out, and it saves me a lot of time. And in the morning, then I just need to grab my lunch and go. Another time-saving thing that is great to do the night before is to pick out what you are going to wear the next day. I pull out not just what I want to wear, but any like undergarments I need, the shoes I'm gonna wear, because in the morning you're just busier, you're more in a rush, and so it's harder to find all those little pieces that you need. So just by taking a little bit of time at night when you're kind of getting ready to grab what you need from your closet and put it out, it'll save you a ton of time in the morning. This next tip is honestly one of my favorites because it's truly how I can be more productive during my week, and that is by waking up earlier in the morning. Now, if you're not a morning person, bear with me. Waking up even just 30 minutes earlier can give you a valuable amount of time before it's really busy, before you're totally interrupted and distracted by other stuff to get things done. If you're not a morning person and you need some tips, I actually have an entire video I made about how to be a morning person. I will link that down below. But really the easiest tip is just to start slow. If you usually wake up at 7:45, try waking up at 7:30 for a week or two until you're comfortable with that. Then go to 7:15 and then down to 7 and so on until you're waking up a little bit earlier, and you can use that morning time to get so much work done. It's honestly my most productive time of day. All right, my next tip is to batch similar tasks together. This is really helpful if you do things like making to-do lists. You then can look at your list and batch similar items together. So this is similar to the hack that I talked about with food prep. The reason that packing my lunches at night instead of in the morning makes a lot of sense is because I'm already making dinner, I've got my cutting board out, I've got knives out, and so it's just easier to get that type of task done instead of having to take it all out again. So when you're looking at your to-do list, just think about tasks that are similar. Maybe they're getting done in the same place, they require the same tools, and by batching those types of tasks together, you'll save yourself time on simple little things like setup, cleanup, moving from room to room, going from place to place. It's also the reason that having a good planner helps, because you can really sort of look at all of your tasks and then batch them out into time slots where it makes sense. All right, the final tip I will leave you with is to learn how to say no. As much as we would like to be able to do it all, we unfortunately can't. So sometimes it's just as simple as learning to say no to events or obligations that we just can't fit on our plate. Whether it's something that you can say no to, or you can say, no, I can't do that, I'm gonna automate it, I'm gonna delegate it, I'm gonna outsource it. Find ways that you can free up your time so that you're not taking it all on with a plate that's way too full that you'll never get it done. All right guys, that does it for my productivity hacks to save you an hour every single day. It's really just about having a good plan in place and then finding places that you can cut out useless time that you're sort of wasting. Don't forget that I will have a link to those Dunkin' Donuts extra creamers down below. I want to thank Dunkin' Donuts for sponsoring today's video. As always, you guys can find me on Instagram or over on my blog. I appreciate you guys stopping by and watching this video. I hope you are having a fantastic day, and I will see you all in my next video.